Hey guys, got a backpacking trip coming up and you're wondering how to train? Do you need a gym, fancy equipment, or can you just wing it? After over 100 backpacking trips, I've come up with a simple, effective training plan that works with any setup, whether you've got a full gym, just a pair of dumbbells, or no equipment at all. And stick around because at the end of the video, I'll share a training tip that you probably haven't heard anywhere else. All right, guys, so the first thing I want to emphasize is that any physical exercise will help you prepare for a backpacking trip. If you're getting your heart rate up and your blood pumping, you're building endurance, whether that's jogging, lifting, boxing, cycling, or swimming. But if you want to train specifically for a backpacking trip, there's a few key areas you want to focus on. First of all, strength, because your legs, core, and stabilizers need to be strong for long hikes, steep climbs, uneven terrain, and lots of miles. Endurance, because backpacking is basically hours of cardio with a heavy pack on your back. And due to that, pack weight training is also important. Being strong and fit is one thing, but carrying a heavy pack for several miles is a whole other challenge. And trust me, if you skip the training, you're probably gonna feel it. So let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. Here's exactly how to train for a backpacking trip. But first, let me get these wraps off. All right, before we jump into the workouts, here's what you need to know. You don't need to spend hours in the gym or train like an athlete. At a minimum, here's what I recommend. Strength training twice per week. Cardio or hiking twice per week. This alone will give you a solid foundation. If you want to step it up, you can increase workouts, add sets, or up the difficulty over time. The key is to start where you are and build from there. Even training just once per week is way better than nothing. Just stay consistent. On top of that, you can also throw in some core work, flexibility, or mobility training, especially if you've had injuries in the past or deal with tight muscles. Next, let's break down how to train based on what equipment you have, and then we'll get into the actual workouts. So if you've got access to a gym, awesome. This is the fastest way to build strength. Barbells, weight machines, and cardio equipment will give you tons of options to build stronger legs and endurance for the trail. For strength training, focus on 3 key lifts. Squats. These build overall leg strength for climbing and ascending steep grades. Just make sure you're going deep enough, at least to parallel, to get the full benefit from this exercise. Lunges. These mimic the movement of actual hiking and stepping on uneven terrain. You can do forward lunges, reverse lunges, or walking lunges. Keep your back knee 1 to 2 inches off the ground and don't let it touch. Adjust the length of your step to target different muscles. Shorter for quads, longer steps for glutes and hamstrings. And then calf raises. Your calves work on every step of a hike. You can do these with both legs or one at a time for more of a challenge. And use a step or some stairs so you can get a full stretch at the bottom. And then for cardio, use whatever works for you. A treadmill, the stair climber, an elliptical machine, or if you can, just go hiking. Get in a few sessions of cardio per week and we'll talk about how to structure them in just a bit. No gym? No problem. A pair of dumbbells is more than enough to build strength while also improving balance and stability, which is perfect for handling uneven terrain on the trail. For strength training, lunges are going to be your bread and butter for single leg strength and knee stability. Goblet squats will build overall leg power and endurance, and if those aren't challenging enough, step it up with split squats or even Bulgarian split squats where your back leg is elevated. These ones kill, just a warning. And then again, calf raises, because these will bulletproof your calves for long miles and uphill climbs. For cardio without access to a gym, it's really just important to get moving. Hike a local trail, do some stair climbs, or take some long walks. And if you want to up the intensity, you can just throw some weight in a backpack. And we'll talk about workout frequency when we get into the actual workout plans. No equipment? We got you. Body weight exercises, hiking, walking, or stair climbing will still build the endurance and strength you need for the trail. For strength training, we're gonna be aiming for higher reps, probably around 15 to 20%. Stick with the basics: lunges to build strength and endurance in your legs, body weight squats for overall leg and core stability, split squats to manage hiking uphill, and again, calf raises. And if you're doing body weight calf raises, I do recommend doing them one leg at a time on a step or some stairs so you can get a full stretch at the bottom of the movement. And if you do want to add some resistance, just throw some water bottles in a backpack. And for cardio, hiking is still going to be your best option. But if that's not possible for some reason due to weather or you're in a big city, stair climbs or a fast-paced walk will still get the job done. All right, now that we've covered the exercises, let's break down how to structure your workouts, sets, reps, training frequency, and I'll give you a full plan based on how much time you have before your trip. All right, so if you've got 3 months or more before your trip, this is the ideal scenario. Plenty of time to build strength, improve endurance, and get comfortable carrying a pack. And guys, the training plans we're about to go over will all be in a free PDF that you can download, the links below in the description. For strength training, aim for 2 to 3 times per week. Focus on squats, lunges, split squats, and calf raises. Stick to 8 to 15 reps per set depending on your fitness level. For cardio, also train 2 to 3 times per week. Hiking is best, but if that's not an option, stair climbing, fast-paced walking, or cardio machines work just as well. Keep your cardio sessions at 30 to 60 minutes, starting easy and gradually increasing the difficulty. At least 1 cardio session per week should be pack training. Start with 5 to 10 pounds in your pack and gradually increase the weight over time. And for all your cardio sessions, try to increase something every week, whether that's adding more time, upping the incline, or adding more weight to progressively challenge yourself. And by the way, guys, if you're finding this helpful so far, consider subscribing. I put out backpacking videos like this one every week on all kinds of topics to help you get ready for the trail. All right, so what if you only have a month or 2 before your trip? You still have time to get trail ready. You just need to dial in your focus. For strength training, aim for 2 sessions per week. Lunges, squats, and calf raises. At this stage, you want to bump up your reps to 12 to 20% to build endurance and not just strength. For cardio, start training 3 times per week. Hiking is still ideal, but again, if that's not an option for you, stair climbing, treadmill work, or fast-paced walking will get your legs ready. Cardio sessions should now be around 45 to 60 minutes with at least 1 session per week a bit longer to mimic real trail conditions. For pack weight training, start wearing a partially loaded pack on 1 to 2 of your cardio sessions every week. The goal here is to work up to about 50% of your total pack weight to prepare your body for carrying actual weight. This is the phase where you want to start trying to train as close as possible to real trail conditions, doing longer hikes with more elevation and wearing your pack more. So let's say your trip is less than a month away and you haven't started training. What now? This is where we're gonna shift our focus. At this stage, it's less about building strength and more about making sure your endurance and your pack fitness are dialed in. I do recommend strength training during this period, but 1 to 2 times per week is enough. And keep the weight lighter and body weight focused. Lunges, squats, step ups, and calf raises. You wanna start avoiding heavier lifting at this point because you want your legs to be relatively fresh for the trail. For cardio, if you can, bump it up to 4 times per week. Focus on hiking, stair climbing, or fast-paced walking. Each session should be 45 to 60 minutes, and if possible, at least 1 session should be over 90 minutes to prepare for long hiking days. From now on, every time you go out for a day hike, it should be with a loaded pack. And if you haven't been doing any hiking with a loaded pack, start at 50% of your pack weight and try to up it to at least 75% over the last few weeks. At this stage, the best thing you can do is to simulate your trip conditions as closely as possible. So if you're going on a high altitude hike, train on some hills. If you'll be carrying 30 pounds, start carrying at least 20 pounds now. That way your body will be ready for exactly what's coming. All right, so before we wrap this up, I promised you a training tip that you probably haven't heard anywhere else. And trust me, this one can make a big difference, especially on longer hiking days. So if you've ever hiked for hours with a fully loaded pack, your shoulders are probably feeling it. The constant weight pulling down, the pack straps digging in, it all adds up. Most hikers train their legs, their core, and their cardio, but completely ignore the muscles that actually hold up your backpack all day long. That's why I always train my traps. So your traps, the muscles that run from your neck down to your upper back, help support your backpack's weight. The stronger they are, the less strain you'll feel on your shoulders. And the best way to train your traps, shrugs. For this, you're gonna need some kind of weight to lift. Dumbbells, a barbell, or even a couple bags with something heavy in them. Focus on 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 20 reps and squeeze at the top on every rep. And if this feels too easy, either add weight or you can even go up to 50 reps per set, since we're aiming for endurance here, not strength or hypertrophy. And here's another pro tip when doing shrugs. As you approach the top of the shrug, bend your elbows slightly at the top and really squeeze your traps. This simple adjustment will activate the muscles better and let you really feel the squeeze in every rep. So add some trap training to your routine and your shoulders will get a massive upgrade and allow you to carry a heavy pack for much longer. You'll have less muscle pain and less shoulder soreness. All right, guys, so that's the full training plan. And as a reminder, if you want to download these workouts, I put them all into a free PDF file that you can download using the link below. And stay tuned for more backpacking tips because I put out videos like this one every week. So now you've got no excuse to show up to the trailhead unprepared. So plan your next trip, start training, get strong, and I'll see you out there.